Hello, and welcome to the final presentation for the Business and Society Term Project, Team 3, with the technology industry, with a specific focus on Apple, Google, and Microsoft. This is from the University of Dallas, summer semester 2021. As an overview, the technology industry is characterized by its massive size and its rapid growth. It's also very highly profitable, and there are a lot of external pressures for CSR, which has resulted in some very bold industry commitments, which we'll talk about later. Our focus companies for this project were Apple, Google, and Microsoft. Moving into environmental performance, first we'll start with Apple. At a high level, it's reduced its overall carbon footprint by nearly 35% since 2015. It's the largest corporate issuer of green bonds. It has a robust supplier commitment to renewable energy, in fact, with 70% of suppliers providing a 100% commitment to Apple for their production. There's also recognition by the UN that Apple has received for its achievements in reducing carbon emissions. And opportunities is their commitment to carbon neutrality by 2030, and also looking at reducing the entire impact of the value chain, including the complete life cycle of products and facilities. Moving on to Google, some of its strengths are the fact that it maintains data centers that are twice as efficient on average as compared to the typical enterprise data center. In 2019, it diverted 90% of data center waste from landfills. Also, business users of Gmail can reduce the impact of their email service emissions by up to 98% compared with on-premises servers. And their opportunities include building a carbon-free future by 2030, which they've committed to, and also reducing the annual carbon emission of 500 cities and local governments by 1 gigaton on the aggregate. And finally, Microsoft environmental performance. Some of its strengths include 1.3 million metric tons of carbon removal by projects in 2021, which was also coupled with top suppliers reducing their carbon footprint by 21 million metric tons. They've achieved the zero waste certification on data centers in both Dublin, Ireland and Boydtown, Virginia. And they boast employee engagement in eco-challenges to reduce personal waste footprints. And opportunities, they've committed to providing 1.5 million people with access to safe drinking water and sanitation. They want to increase the responsibility of operations to reduce carbon, water, waste, and land footprints, as well as helping customers and partners around the world reduce their respective footprints. Moving on to social performance, again starting with Apple. Apple has a strong reputation for educating and empowering workers, championing labor and human rights, and its commitment to employees' health and safety. But with opportunities, currently all CSR is under the role of the VP of Environmental Initiatives. So aligning that corporate structure with an organizational goals is going to be important. And also effective management of the supply chain. They enforce the Supplier Code of Conduct, which is classified as the toughest in the electronic industry. And in fact, they remove suppliers from their supply chain due to failing to pass and participate in human rights audits. On to Google. One of its strengths is that it has contributed more than $100 million in grants and investments to charities. It has good stakeholder management as it relates to users and communities. And its opportunities are to achieve the corporate ideal, which it itself has committed to, which is you can make money without doing evil. And finally, Microsoft. It has an employee health assistance program entitled CARES, and it was the first Fortune 500 company to provide benefits to LGBTQ+ domestic partners. Opportunities include upholding the commitment to human rights as a signatory with the United Nations Global Compact, and ultimately fulfilling its own company's CSR, which is to serve globally the needs of communities and fulfill our responsibilities to the public. Moving on to industry recommendations, the state of the industry has some quotes from industry leaders stating that much work remains to raise Silicon Valley to national averages. Silicon Valley geniuses are sustainability dullards, and the industry needs collaborative engagement across the sector to fight climate change, protecting our planet and our future. So what we've summarized is 2 environmental and 1 social recommendation for the industry, which we documented in our memo. The first is waste reduction through the entire supply chain, which they are able to do with their substitute suppliers. Also environmental impacts, whether that's energy or carbon or water. And finally, social. Data privacy as corporate responsibility. As these companies get larger, stakeholders want to see better oversight and better conscientiousness as it relates to this. And finally, here are the references from our company analysis and our industry recommendations as it relates to the technology industry, Apple, Google, and Microsoft. Thank you.